The reason they felt they needed to do that, Jesse, is because if they told their audience the truth, that when gas is the most expensive it's been, flights are super expensive, that 5,000 kids decided to spend a weekend in summer traveling across the country to go hear from conservative speakers, maybe the audience, The View, would think twice about all of their ideas. That's why they felt so compelled to try to smear our wonderful summit this last weekend.
Yeah, they have nothing else to talk about. Maybe you should get the lawyer that worked on that Covington Catholic school case. What was that, a $200 million settlement? I think, Charlie, you could use the money, and your students definitely.
It started with a smirk. Sunny strolled onto The View like she owned the stage, ready to launch into another one of her self-righteous monologues. You know the kind. Plenty of buzzwords, zero self-awareness. This time, she took aim at people who didn't go to college. According to her, uneducated white women were a key reason Trump won. No nuance, no respect, just a blanket insult broadcast to millions. And she didn't stop there. She lumped Latino men, black voters, and working-class conservatives into a confused underclass that supposedly didn't know any better. But here's the thing. When you spend that much time calling people ignorant, the backlash is inevitable. And when it came, oh, it was loud.
Gross elitism and her complete out-of-touch nature with respect to the rest of the world. Sunny Hostin goes on The View and decides now would be a great time to dump all over the so-called uneducated.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men actually voting more for him, and you have and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the.
Sunny wasn't just sharing an opinion. She was drawing a line in the sand. From her perch on an intellectual throne, she dismissed hard-working Americans as less valuable, less informed, and less worthy simply because they lacked a degree. That arrogance didn't go unnoticed. Now, before we get to the good part, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so we can keep bringing you these stories. Because what happened next? That's when the fireworks began. Charlie Kirk came in hot with hard facts, but the real surgical strike came from Megyn Kelly. She didn't yell. She didn't posture. She stayed calm, steady, dangerous in a whole different way. While Charlie punched, Megyn sliced. No dramatics, no cheap shots, just a binder full of contradictions, stacked and ready.
College doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom. You can go to college and get a bunch of irrelevant facts about how men can allegedly give birth or whatever they teach. But I said this to our team. I said working people, the muscular class, including working women, they are so in favor of Trump and they don't want to be called stupid.
One by one, she laid out how Sunny's moral outrage only ever appears when it benefits her politics. When a conservative missteps, Sunny explodes. Full lectures, emotional speeches, finger pointing. But when it's someone on her side, silence. Not even a blink. Megyn built her case like a prosecutor. She wasn't there to debate. She was there to dissect. Every example stripped away the carefully curated truth-teller image Sunny hides behind, protected by a media bubble where no one dares push back. This time, that shield was gone, and Megyn was just getting warmed up.
The CEO of Turning Point USA and the author of the new book, The College Scam. So, Charlie, do you accept The View's apology?
I mean, regardless of whether or not I accept it, the question is, do our students accept it? That's really what's at heart here. They went after our 5,000 students at our event there of high school and college kids. And look, I get attacked all the time. People say false things. I'm a public figure. But when you go after 16 and 17-year-olds that travel from across the country that then have to live for the rest of their life with a shadow over them because someone at ABC says that they might be linked to neo.
Charlie Kirk stepped up. No yelling. No theatrics, just blunt truth. While Sunny wagged fingers, he brought receipts. He exposed The View for smearing 5,000 high school and college students who had traveled across the country to attend a conservative summit. Not celebrities, not millionaires, just regular teenagers who cared about politics. Their crime? Sitting in a crowd listening to conservative voices. Yet Sunny and others painted them as dangerous or extremist adjacent.
What did it take for us to get to the point of an apology? We had to threaten a lawsuit, Jesse. And by the way, we're still entertaining it. We're talking to some of the best lawyers out there that are experts in this. And as you know, these things can be very complicated. There's a lot of facts and circumstances around it. But we're not going to let this go, because you should not be able to smear 5,000 high school and college kids and then just be able to walk away.
About that, branding 16 and 17-year-olds with political scarlet letters because they disagree with you. Charlie wasn't letting it slide. This wasn't about him getting an apology. It was about protecting those kids from a stain they didn't earn. And he hinted at something bigger. Legal action. Lawyers were already in the loop. After all, what would you do if someone on national TV smeared you for no reason? This wasn't a Twitter spat. It was real. And it was just heating up. Then came Charlie's knockout line. Just because someone didn't go to college doesn't mean they're stupid. In seconds, Sunny's elitist rant was dismantled.
Specifically, they're referring to the women, but of course, it's the non-college educated men as well who voted for Donald Trump. And the nerve of this woman, to whom the country has given so much, to try to dump on people who didn't go to college. Look at you. Look at your achievements. How do you like the so-called uneducated?
He didn't just defend the so-called uneducated. He celebrated them. He called them the muscular class, the builders, the fixers, the lifters, the drivers, the people who actually keep America running. And then he drove the point home. Sure, you can go to college, but these days that might mean being told men can give birth. He wasn't mocking education. He was mocking the hollow superiority people like Sunny wear like a badge. To her, uneducated isn't a fact. It's an insult, a way to control the conversation and decide who gets mocked into silence. Sunny came in ready to school conservatives on national TV. Instead, she got a masterclass in humility. And her teacher? Not a blazer-wearing pundit. Just someone armed with facts. Sunny Hostin has built a brand as The View's voice of moral clarity, rolling in like a preacher with a sermon, arms crossed, eyes locked. But when Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk showed up with evidence, that polished image cracked. Because here's the truth. Sunny's confidence is loud, but her arguments? Paper thin.
I think she went to Binghamton undergrad, and she went to Notre Dame Law School, which is a great law school. Her son right now is at Harvard. That son she wants us to think is sitting there oppressed, who she's got to fight on behalf of because America is so awful to him. They're educating him right now at Harvard University. And Jason, would you take a look at this? Because I'm going to guess, I haven't been to your house down in Tennessee, but I'm going to guess it doesn't look like this. This is Sunny Hostin's home in this shitty country that she can't stand, that doesn't treat black people like Sunny well. She let People magazine feature her home. Look at this dump. This country sucks. She went to Notre Dame Law School. She makes millions on The View. Her son's at Harvard. I'm sure her daughter's at private school on her way to some Ivy League. This is where Sunny lives. And F off, America. I can't stand how you've kept us all in chains.
Sunny's specialty is a dramatic one-liner. The kind that riles the audience and paints conservatives as villains in her grand resistance saga. But when someone brings real data to the table, the facade cracks. Her buzzwords collapse, her tone shifts, and she starts reaching. Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk didn't need a studio, an audience, or even a face-to-face showdown. They came armed with truth, and suddenly all of Sunny's TV polish couldn't shield her from the reality she'd been dodging. Without a teleprompter or backup, she was left standing on a narrative built on shaky ground. This wasn't just a roast. It was a breakdown. Because when the very people you spent years mocking show up with better arguments, stronger logic and receipts, the act gets exposed. Sunny tried to keep control as the walls closed in, but Charlie turned the heat all the way up, not with shouting or theatrics, but with straight facts stacked like dominoes. Voting records, public statements, timestamps, patterns. Everything she had tried to spin, he unraveled piece by piece. Then came the line that cut through all. Her outrage isn't about truth. It's about branding. Charlie laid bare how her on-screen persona is a formula. Fiery speeches, emotional outbursts, and moral lectures designed to stir the audience, not inform them. The moment real facts enter, the formula collapses. And this wasn't just politics. It was targeting teenagers. He reminded everyone that The View didn't just go after him. They went after thousands of high school students, labeling them extremists for attending a conservative summit. That kind of smear carries lifelong consequences. Also, a talk show could score political points. When Charlie mentioned possible legal action, you could feel the tension behind the cameras, because now it wasn't TV drama. It was real. Then Charlie zeroed in on her biggest weakness. Consistency or the lack of it. When someone on the right missteps, Sunny unleashes full-volume outrage, dedicating entire segments to moral judgment. But when it's someone on her side, silence. Selective outrage, plain and simple. Charlie called her what she is, not a journalist, but a spin artist. Her commentary isn't analysis. It's political theater, tailored to protect her side and punish the other. And the hypocrisy? Blinding. Her son attended Harvard. She went to Notre Dame Law. She lives in a multi-million-dollar mansion featured in People magazine. Yet on TV, she acts as if she's under constant attack from the very country that gave her everything. Charlie didn't need to shout. He just held up a mirror. Then Megyn stepped back in. This time, she wasn't just dissecting Sunny's contradictions. She was exposing the system that lets her thrive. Sunny doesn't operate in the arena of open debate. She survives in an echo chamber, where applause counts more than accuracy and emotional volume is mistaken for evidence. In that bubble, no one dares fact-check her. But Megyn did. Sunny's segments, Megyn explained, are choose-your-own-outrage performances, carefully edited and cropped for maximum emotional punch, with inconvenient facts quietly removed. She hides behind big words and intense delivery, so viewers won't question the details. But once Megyn started asking, the whole illusion fell apart. More cardboard cutout than Crusader. The most absurd moment? When Sunny went after someone entirely outside politics, Brittany Mahomes, wife of NFL star Patrick Mahomes, for liking a vaguely pro-Trump post. No rant, no speech, just a like. Sunny decided that was enough to shame her on national TV, claiming Brittany should know better because she's in an interracial marriage. In Sunny's world, political views must be approved according to your family's racial makeup. It was peak overreach, twisting a harmless online click into a social justice lecture. But it showed the truth. Sunny doesn't just fight causes. She hunts targets. And when she finds one, she swings for maximum public humiliation. Charlie and Megyn, by contrast, didn't rely on outrage for effect. They used facts, patterns, and logic to show that Sunny's real game isn't truth or justice. It's control. Control of the narrative, the audience's emotions, and who gets cast as hero or villain. Then Megyn dropped the final grenade. Sunny's own history. The woman who lectures America on racism? She's openly admitted her ancestors were slaveholders who came from Spain to Puerto Rico. Yet she still sits on The View, wagging her finger at others. Megyn calmly pointed out how Sunny rewrites every story, even her own, to fit the narrative. Big emotion, big claims, glaring gaps in logic. Facts that hurt her side vanish. Details that fuel her outrage get magnified. In the end, Charlie cracked the foundation. Megyn dismantled the walls. And the carefully built persona Sunny has him behind for years? Exposed, not by louder shouts, but by louder facts.